Speaking, test, test. Kann man mich hören? Test, test.
Yep, perfect.
Just let me change the camera appearance so that not everyone see the
It
dirty kitchen.
looked all right, tidy enough.
How to say? It's a bit messed up because I have to clean the, how it's called, uh, die Spülmaschine,
Dishwasher
dishwasher. It performs a cleaning program. So this is where everything is
is
there.
outside.
Table.
All right. Okay, Sabi is there. What's up? Is Mavish with you?
Yes, Mavish is here.
See, I saw it. Okay, fantastic. All good. You're gonna listen in, and Andre is gonna do his magic, and then we're gonna learn a lot of cool shit today.
Yeah,
Exciting
Okay.
times.
Well, the thing I
Oh,
found out, I will share my screen. Uh, where is it?
wait. Stop. Yeah, yeah. No. Okay, you should be able to share now. Sorry, I blocked it before.
Oh, no problem. Can you see this?
Yep. We see your visual code.
I will increase this. Are you using Visual Code too?
Yeah.
Um,
So I can't. I am the direction.
just wait a second. I will
Oh
create
yeah.
a new folder, a new repository. Spec demo. The thing is, like I tried this already out with Sebastian, and we were just like not astonished. There is this thing after wipe coding, there comes this spec-driven development or code development. I don't know if you have heard of this
No.
term so far, but there, I think the first one who started was with BMet method that you can find online, where he tries to copy the entire uh, yeah uh, 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 yeah, open source development workflow or something, and has like created a couple of I will show this to you in a couple of seconds, a couple of files or instructions that's like how to control the entire workflow, and the idea is that you have like multiple agents with multiple personas
Mm-hmm.
with their own specific tasks and their own
Mm-hmm.
instructions. And for every step, you generate something like a contract. Uh,
Okay.
Made a larger one, so I will copy this one. It's just my inspection or my help file. I can share. I will share
Yes,
this
please.
to you also. Can I do this here in the chat?
Yep.
Just wait a second. Screenshot. I cannot send files, right?
You can't
I don't know how. Or
screenshot.
just
Oh
I
yeah,
will
no.
maybe I
Apparently,
can.
okay. Apparently not. Um. So either with like you put it into WhatsApp or just like email if you can.
Yeah, I will send this to you via WhatsApp. Just wait a second.
Okay, and then I share it with the guys. Folks, I'm gonna use Talk for sharing if that's okay, so I don't have to.
Where is it? Where is it? Where's WhatsApp?
Sorry.
There it is. It's amazing. I have to bring this to another screen. Ah, just too many windows open. So no, didn't work. So this is like an giant like text file, like a giant um control. Uh, you can say like a giant prompt, but with only small pieces and tasks. I will simply copy and paste everything that I have there also into a new project. And on GitHub, on VS Code, you have this thing called you can now like create additional folders for prompts and additional folders next to your workflows and stuff. This so if you create a new folder, it has to be in .github. And there's even a subfolder with prompts where you can attach all your kind of prompts in there, but I will create a new file, which is like the it calls Copilot instructions.md. So I copy all of my content in there and I cloned the process more or less from the BMET method. So, and I use this, for example, and this was astonishing to create. I will have to give a lecture on databases within the next semester in Freiburg, and wanted to have a co-author that helps me to create this lectures. And the thing is, at the beginning, is just copy and paste it from the BMET method. You are operating as a specialized agent from the BMET method. I don't know how much it knows about this. And then there are basic instructions. So the entire document is separated like into files or in bundles. And to put everything into one single file, you have like these patterns. Like here's now the resource navigation. So there's this folder structure. It's called this is the comments. Watch out for these markers. So every document starts with equal signs, then start. And then you have the file system with a file name, folder structure, and there's an end tag. And so then there's this instruction. Whenever I give you a task or a command or something like this, and there are some files included, so scan the entire document for these files. For example, if I give you I have there the persona of an analyst, for example, or create story task me. You have to look out for these rooms, for these files, or for these patterns. So it's better to see if you have these equal, like it is here, like in my first agent definition. And then there's just you can combine, for example, Markdown with the other thing that's called with YAML, where you have your structured files, and there's like a file structure, also like the dependencies for these tasks might be templates, and there is an outline template and task that defines the task or the command, which is create outline or something like this. So this is like the introduction. So and then so the idea is you can create your own like workflow or specialized army of agents that help you to accomplish a
Mm.
certain task. And the great thing about this, I'm not sure because I haven't started this so far, or I have just copied the Copilot instructions in there. I will simply close this. Wait a second, and reopen it because I don't know how to restart this. So, and then the idea so that the AI agent or AI, so in this case, the best is, where is it? Cloud Sonnet. So I got the best results from Cloud Sonnet if I use this as an in agent mode, for example. So, and the thing, I will probably start out the first um the teaching agent that helps me for creating these tasks, or we can simply go through it. Oh, so it's called, it has its own instructions. So it's was basically my description. So you are a teaching agent, but teaching agent, this is your name. You help me support with lecture builder and didactics. Okay, there's a little bit of German, but you can translate it. It's not the
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
actually. It helps me to create new lectures, to plan the didactics, to structure the session, and to prepare and co-author the materials. So this is the idea. So the persona, you are a teaching planner, you're supportive, your style is clear, you're friendly, you're supportive, it's dialogue oriented, and you'll again your identity and a bit more description how the supporter or the agent should be. And then it has these core principles. Whenever there's some information missing, just ask for it, offer options. If something is not there, some information, or within first next steps you want to go on, give some feedbacks to clarify the states, try to be consistent on the outline, the tactics, the create the materials always created in markdowns, yeah, offer and stay in character. And then there is this separate list. So I started, for example, with I have different tasks. So, and the thing is, or the magic happens when you create smaller files, smaller chunks, whereas
Hmm.
like a contract, what happens within the next steps. And if I, for example, I want to create an outline, this is my first step. I call this at teaching agents. So there's always this help step. So you can ask for comment and help. So which should actually help you with the current instructions. Well, let's translate this. So it offers me like basically, so what might be the next steps? Create a session, promote a session, or help me with the content generation. I just please always answer and talk in English. Can you see this? Or is it too
I
small?
can see. So how do you get to this chat option?
It's I always use control. Wait a second. Control Control Shift P, and then there is this. I, I always look for chat. Uh, a chat run prompt or something like this. But it should be. Just let me close this. As this one. Control Shift P. Chat, new chat. So there it is. So this is the. Where is it? Control Shift P. Copilot. Open chat agent because there is. So there's basically you have like a history of your previous chats, and I run this in agent mode, so it's able not only to read the files but also to create content. So and to directly edit the content as well.
Okay.
So maybe there's this show chats. Okay, let's go back to the teaching agent.
Yeah.
Uh, please always answer and talk in English. So it's basically offering me like within a help mode. So what it wants to do next, and I started with a when I created this, I tried to break the uh, process of creating a complex lecture with 22 lectures and 7 exercises like into smaller pieces. So the first thing that I created basically, or that I wanted to have, was a document for an outline for the entire uh,
Mhm.
lecture. So we can start with probably create, where is it? Create outline. So what it does now, it's simply it's instructed. So there's this command, create outline, run the task.
Hmm.
So the task is described in create outline MD and with the template. So this is basically the outcome. So
Mm.
if we have a look at the task file, so it basically jumps to this file. So create an outline for the lecture. The inputs, what it should get is the title of the lecture, the target audience, how many hours per semester, and it should generate like something like or it should discuss with me an abstract and the learning goals, and probably optional also a prompt for the logo. And
Mm.
so these are the steps basically. So the output is put on documents, lecture, outline MD. So and the inputs or the structure should be basically like it's defined in outline template. And if we look at
Mm.
outline template, and so it basically only defines the important stuff that is required. So the idea, so name, lecture, outline, the output format is the markdown. The file name should be docs lecture output. And so it has to have a title. It has to have a target audience. So everything again, what is required in a nice structured way. So so since we started or this task here, basically, so what's the name of your lecture? So I could repeat this for databases for starters, or like call it a database tutorial, general database tutorial. I didn't add the title basically. Database, excellent title. So what's the target audience? It already provides me with some hints. Let's do it like, and so there is this who should take the course. It's complete uh, target audience, complete beginners. Like make time. Let's do it. Number two. Let's add the three. Basically, you could do it also like this. So the scope should be like database concept theory, specific database. As let's call it. Let's make it a mixture of these both. And SQL fundamentals and learning context. What's the like make it four is a self-study resource, and make it like a technical level, like five will be. So actually, I'm just selecting the options, but you can discuss with the idea. So I want to have it like more in this way and this way, and we'll generate you some more options only. Five, the what would be the best? S- So it's not that you just fill in what is actually needed. You can it goes because it's a conversational AI.
Mm.
Basically, you can let's make the four gentle SQL introduction, and yeah, let's make a gentle SQL introduction with lots of yeah script online examples. So excellent, all your script excellent, So this is the summary, technical level, title. Since you mentioned two, I'll assume 2 to 3 hours in total and gentle. Let me create the outline with these specifications. So it's like it's now we'll generate the document as we wanted to have it. So this is just like the yeah, like the brief overview about the project, about the
Hmm.
lecturing stuff. So there you see docs just happened, and there's this lecture outline. Okay, it's using German because part of this is written in German, and this is like a small contract between me and the AI. So within the next step, so we will focus or use parts of these, and it does not to have to remember everything. So basically, if I
Hmm.
want to change something later, I can change this within this document,
In
and
the
this
file. Fantastic.
in the
Okay.
file basically, and this will be always in the context of this agent within the current working step. So now we can create like I splitted this. For me, it made sense basically, like where create like a didactics approach to how the define the professor persona, how the teaching style and a didactical approach should be. So and let's do it like go to the next step, create. So my idea was that okay, I define how the course content should be more funny and formal. It should be with a lots of theory, so that everything is described within this didactics context, and also the persona should be. He should, in my case, my co-author that I use has like 10 to 20 years of backgrounds developing databases with and took all the how to say and had seen all the developments within the last 20 years and can recommend on this case so far. So and if you read the lecture, so if you go back to the Copilot instructions, it was a bit too fast basically. It already created a didactics concept for me. But again, we can discuss this for my software development. Turned out, okay, he pretty
Okay.
much does the same teaching philosophy. Every expert was once a beginner. My job isn't. Character traits, encouraging, patient, practical, approachable, supportive, teaching style, difficulty level. So this basically, we can check, rewrite this also in the conversational stuff as much as we want to. So, and then the thing is, the next thing based on the, so we have like a brief overview on the lecture, and then we have like how we wanted to teach it and how the co-author should look like. And the next thing is that we split this into like an agenda with create like like an outline on every course. What is taught in every step. Does this
Yep.
make sense so far?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, like, build an agenda, recommended next step. So, if you have questions so far, just ask.
Is there is there something like you're defining it, and if I want to use like a specific taxonomy, like Bloom's taxonomy or something like that, for an outline, where do I put this
Yeah.
kind like this data into your data? Okay, can I make it use
Yes.
existing outline? Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I don't know if make use existing outlines. Probably, I didn't have tried this out.
Okay.
But if you want to be specific on this, there is this. Where's my? So this is then the ag- agenda. There is this task co-author materials. So there's this task probably where I use the persona and it uses
Ah,
a global overview. And then I had to convince it, and this was a bit tricky, to use only valid Leah script syntax. And this is
yeah.
also, and this is called Data. So this is where you can define like background knowledge so that your
And
a
that's the point where I was always looking at, like trying to do that with ChatGPT and Claude AI, and I was never accepting that. And it's doing it. Copilot is doing that, yeah. So if you put in the chat sheet,
yeah,
sheet,
you have
then
to.
it's
So this is just the idea of this BMAT workflow or something like this. If I, where's my task co-author materials? If I look for the description, Control F. So it's again, what are the inputs to persona from lecture didactics MD? So it's using basically the thing that we have so far created.
yeah,
So in this stuff, so the session, the lecture agenda, so which step, and then the materials are basically numbered. The current material that's opened previously, we also generate something like a skeleton, so which should actually generate like the headlines, or, yeah, for every lecture and inputs. And where is it? And there's this. Task, yeah, output is basically only usually a script syntax taken from data cheat sheet MD.
yeah,
But I've
okay,
seen this from the BMAT method when they are using like brainstorming, for example, that you have a brainstorming agent and you can add like in data different methods. So then the conversational AI will try to use these brainstorming methods. How would you like to elaborate or brainstorm your idea? Basically, it gives you some hints, and then it tries to figure out or apply these methods to get all the required information from you that you and you can do this
okay.
also if you have like teaching methods. You could add a data layer script, a data teaching methods or Bloom's taxonomy or whatever, and then you basically describe what the
What
background
the output would be, yeah, okay,
should be. So in this case, I used it's not perfect at the moment, just like the yeah, the stuff that are required as a most is needed. So it's basically also the cheat sheet is okay. There's just like a short, brief overview on the Leo script syntax. You have something like a header, what are the most important stuff, how to structure the content, and where is it? So I had to inform because it was generating like new headers in between and mixed up with the comments.
yeah,
I had to
understand.
be very specific on these. Okay, new headers are only allowed within HTML text or within a list or within a block quote. And so I had I defined this on a couple of yeah, occasions or something like this. So also when I try to how to mix up the slide structure, if you have like one bullet point and then there's text comments, how has this to be defined and stuff like this. So don't mix up new headers. It's also written in here because it forgot this from time to time. And so like uh, yeah, all the details you can describe. So this is just the idea within something like a data section.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, you can come up with your own. You have to
Well,
create something like a workflow. You have to put your documents or what is a minimal document I need to create like the next larger steps or to split it so that the AI is not overwhelmed from all the knowledge and nonsense that creates. So it uses only the required files and pieces and s- stuff like this. Okay, so it already created an outline for me. This
Mavish,
could be, hmm? Yeah.
Mavish, you may ask your questions.
Okay, my question is like, for example, sometimes we use case studies and we, give that kind of reading stuff. There are certain exercises which are given in the middle of lecture to the students, which are post-reading and pre-reading exercises. So how do we like give those, sometimes we need to give PDFs also. So how is that catered over here? Maybe as a Copilot would give us the option, or there's an option of us giving that required PDF.
I don't know how good it works. Basically, if you add like I always have like a new folder with assets in it. I don't know if I've marked this also within the Copilot instructions.
Maybe
Um,
the resources folder, because when we are teaching at this master's level, there's a lot
yeah,
of
I'm
resource pack that we need to give in the form of readers and exemplars as well.
I
So
didn't
that,
try this out with PDF so far, but basically, I think you will have to try this out if it's able to like read out the content from the PDF, if this is required, and then to generate the required questions. Yeah, it would be interesting. I don't know.
yeah.
I haven't tried this out.
Because we could also have a mini repository of each, in each of the workflow. Maybe we have a mini repository of this particular, so that we don't have to go outside to look at the resources, and everything is packed in here.
Hmm. So this would be interesting to try this out. Basically,
Yeah.
I have no idea. Probably it depends also on how the PDF looks like. If it's just a scan of images, I think it wouldn't work. But probably if it's just like a Word document printed as a PDF, it should actually be able to read out the content and to embed this as you require this. So, but this, if you need this, you can basically add this either to the Copilot instructions or you Copilot instructions MD into your workflow, or you instruct the co-author. So you give him this specific information that put additional material into the where is it? And the professor persona, and you add this as specific information or something like this. So yeah, additional teaching materials is put in there, and I want to attach this in there. So it's in this case, it generates this quite automatically. So we can have also look at the agenda. So overview, welcome general SQL tutorial. I don't know if it remembers because I did something like this so far. So, but it structures like the session one, welcome to databases. So if I, is your, sorry, is your question answered? Or
Yeah, I think it is, because the way you said that we can add those in Copilot instructions, maybe the resources, but still, I think it would be interesting to see if we have a little option of a small repository in there, that,
Hmm.
or maybe I can we can add it in Copilot
Yeah,
instructions.
you
Yeah,
have to try this out basically. Just like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
use this for
We will.
create my workflow that helps me to create my materials, but probably you can have something more specific that resembles your general workflow or like to generate materials.
Yes, because in the chat box, I can see there's a add content option, then there's a small where we can add files. So maybe we can ask
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in there's the chat. Yeah. So maybe from there, and we can ask this Copilot to add these 2, 3 PDF files to my workflow, and maybe it creates
Yeah,
a mini repository by itself. So that's what
yeah.
I can also try.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot this. Yeah, but this is possible. So
Yeah.
it uses always the current file as the or open file as the context file, basically. Also, my later the materials, but you can also add more files to this. So we'll have a look at this one.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
and what yet already generated like a pretty nice overview. For example, if I want to teach databases, like welcome session, like world of databases, introduction, like 45 minutes, learning goals, understand what databases are basically are, what we'll discover. So I know from the BMAT method, there's something like you are always in conversation on every detail, but there's also something like a method where just give it the starting points and then just okay, just do it by yourself and just let it work. And probably I don't know if it's now in this session. So session four, so connecting the dots, working with multiple tables. So it already started. So it's planning like the materials, the exercise, and these is the outcome of this one. So there's materials. So the lecture, two of them. So 40 minutes. So I can rewrite this basically, restructure this if I want to. So this is like our contract. So we have like the outline, the didactics, and we have the agenda for these sessions for every lecture and the exercises. So in total, like yeah, the course will be like 6 materials generated, like 2.5 to 3 hours. So uh, for me, I think it works quite well. And so the next thing would be or this was my idea. So we start uh, with a first lecture or something like this. So and we create like based on this like a skeleton. So this is just like also a general description for the entire lecture, then a general description for one session, and then we will try to plan this session based on this description. So this is just like the next session. So I use this like created for me, create session one lecture, create session one exercise. So it will generate like in a separate materials folder or skeleton folder, starting the required file. And this is also what it should do there, what are the resources, and how it should act is also everything is described here. The same, this Copilot MD. So create session one, can go on to this. Where's this task? Create session number and probably title. It runs the task, create session skeleton MD with a session template, the YAML file. So you can have a look at this also. So it uses the didactic concept from the document didactics that we have. It uses the persona of the professor and practically the style and the level of, how to say, not complexity. Was heißt Schwierigkeitsgrad?
Difficulty.
Difficulty, yeah. The difficulty defined in didactics. And the output is just folder skeletons with a number and a type. It's a markdown and based like on the structure skeleton YAML. So it already generated something like session one summary, introduction, welcome, your database story begins here, key topics, what exactly is a database? Yeah, already a lot of stuff. So this is the planning
Mhm.
for the first lecture. So this idea. And the next step will be, okay, so we want to create the entire lecture. So skeleton is just like, yeah, a short skeleton,
Mhm.
basically. And then we promote the session. We want to create actually the structure for the materials. So I have again this promote session. So the content from the skeleton will be taken over to a materials doctor. It will take over the persona again. It called herself Dr. Sarah Chens. uh, and
Okay.
so you read in with which files are currently used and stuff like this. So it's pretty straightforward, and it's something sometimes when it helps me. So I'm still working on this a bit of this GitHub Copilot instructions because I want to have it like perfect, and I'm working on the still on the first lecture on this conversational stuff, but it's actually very impressive what the AI how it supports me with the generation. I have some like couple ideas. Like I want to have like databases. I want to have a short historic review where something like structured data uh, was used, basically, like from old Egyptians or Mesopotamians. I knew this that they, of course, they collected like how's it called grain seeds or something like this, and they have to kept like within the book who delivered as much as he can, as much as was required, stuff like this. And it like based on the persona, I can show this to you. So where I'm still working on this one. No, this was the another document. I'm not in the right one. So I will have today an talk about JX graph. It's about mathematical visualizations, and for fun, I just used to create the presentation. Also, the same method in here. Just- So, and the great thing about this, as I think also, I already prepared like the skeletons and stuff like this. So if you are working on a larger team, so all the in between steps they are already like generalized or shared with your team, so you can not only chat with the AI and you get different outputs because the contracts are actually made in these documents that we have like created with the help of the AI. And where's my uh, lecture? Also instructed it, for example, to use ASCII art whenever it's possible or something like this. So these images like also generated by the AI. And if I need some help, like to create images that I cannot find within the internet, so it was quite helpful to generate also the uh,
Generation works as well.
yeah, you just instruct it, it not automatically generates the images, but it at least, so this one cannot generate the images, but it generates the,
The prompt for the image. Okay.
yeah. So it even separates in with Dolly, with Midjourney and stuff like this for what system do you need it. I can be more specific on this. So this is like a prompt for an Native American, for example, with a
All right.
feather on the head. So like I required something like, and so I can show the output. So it generates like an introduction about the what the lecture is about, so what didactical methods we use, and then so my first impression was like to what is actually data, and it already, and this is the thing, either I structure it manually and then I tell it, can you do the commenting stuff so that it actually the text to speech output, the numbering of the elements. So this was done, and this was quite good, actually done by the AI so that I
Mm.
can write and it does this restructuring stuff like this. Sometimes it fails because it adds something to a header or had something like this. But so the idea is what is data, describe this image, and then I'll give you context, for example. So this is the idea for students. So what a feather actually means. So and if we now reinterpret the image, we get like information about so every piece of data, every mark in there that has a specific meaning. So data is just meaningless amounts. So this was our idea. So if you get a meaning onto data or you combine this with meaning, you get information. And then you get some, so even like checks Wikipedia for the details. So what I have to manage is, so what is basically knowledge if we can describe the persona of this Indian, of this warrior, probably. And so wisdom is how we use this appliance. So, and this is quite funny because this was also funny generated by the AI. So, combat experience like 10 of 10. Okay, you don't better mess with this. So, leadership skills also based on these markings in here. So, this is like a simple how you start with. Or I wanted to start with this data, information, knowledge, wisdom pyramid, so that this can has different meanings. And then what would be actually the output of would I try to steal a horse from him? No, of course not. Want I to have him within my team? Of course, yet. Would I
Would I
what
argue or like disagree with him
would I
on
disagree
the
with him? And it makes funnily only very
politely?
yeah, only very politely, something like this. So it's quite brought in some actually fun, basically.
Yeah, really nice. And
So
that's you didn't it was giving that kind of example on its own.
no, we elaborate on this. So I can show to you that the co-author is basically used to what I mentioned is not to create directly the content, but so we
Yeah.
discuss the content. So I will write stuff like this and tack, tack, tack. And then when I say, okay, do so, this is like I wanted to have it, just add it into the slides. So we
Yeah.
have the co-author stuff is more this uh, like supporter where you discuss the
Yeah.
content. So, and this was also interesting because the historical events, if we cover about data organization, so it started with Babylon. So, and I wouldn't have made that nice, basically. Like, when was it? So, the date was the third moon of Nisanu, so in Babylon time, and the son of Hammurabi brought what? 10 whatever guesstimates or corn or something like this.
Yeah.
So we like in control it either puts into cuneiform writings, and so like we have this, I don't know, it's called idea for transactions. So that's used if you, but du weißt nicht, was doppelte Buchführung heißt, nee. So where you have like so
Four-eyed principle or something. No, doppelte Buchführung. Yeah, no, I don't.
So you have this basically what you for what you put your money into and what you have basically, and you have like two tables, and so everything since it is more like it is a transaction. So you have like from this side you take, from this side you add, and if you have always the same sum, basically, so everything within your book, so the money you're about was counting is everything is correct. So and then it goes on with a database from the Beagle, from Charles Darwin, where have you an append-only store, for example, where you store data or information about the weather, temperature, and stuff like this. So different database ideas and yeah, brought to life. And he created quite nice examples. So I was searching like images on the web. And I didn't found something. Asked him to create the images, and or the prompts, and he didn't create the prompts, but he actually created this ASCII art, which I like them even more. So
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
so there's
Um, so but you just like you entered into Leah books at before you showed us that. So like for
this is just my a project. I have a folder where larger projects called the books. So on my
but it's like are you using that for like content for like so it's not like it's not hallucinating? Are you referencing Leah books?
no, it
No,
was
no,
just a
okay.
folder from what it was taken.
Okay.
Okay, and so here it started also with a probably we have like so again back we have this skeletons created, and then we have the first lecture as a material. So oh, it co-author Dr. Saren Chen had created this stuff. It already created some kind of format. The quizzes are correct basically. So the syntax so generated much more than I generated with I was doing the database lecture basically. So
Okay.
the numbering is not correct, as you see. Or does it use? Now it's hallucinating again with the numbering. But the ideas when I enter into, probably because it's not within the co-author format, co slash co-author material. So we like now we're switching like really the agent to take over again the persona and the writing styles. So hello, tuck tuck tuck, co-author. I can see we have 40 blah. It reads in actually the data that we already have. Content flow, how can this fit together? What specific would you to collaborate on? So the first thing, we can give it a try probably on the numbering.
And that's not just for the file which is selected.
Yeah,
It's always referring to the file which is selected, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll be a bit more precise to fix to.
And now you see it working. Fantastic.
So the animation is correct. We should actually do the thing. And the thing is, if you have created all the stuff and uh, all the columns, look at it. So it starts with 0, adds 1. So this is okay. The database, it forgot to do this. Okay, so there still we have to do some things manually, I guess, or with
Mhm.
the AI together. But the actual intention for me was to have like this structure of the lecture, so title, subtitles, stuff like this. So with a
Yeah.
short description on what happens in there, and then like I'll write a bit stuff like I want to structure of the contents, and then I help to assist or discuss the content with his co-author, in this case with Dr. Sarah Chen. And afterwards, so you can also add something like checks where you I didn't add this. I add this so far, but I didn't try this out. So because it was instructed from the AI, so I let him work a bit. And there's this another task, for example, was validate lecture. And so you can give it like a detailed checklist, like, okay, do all images have an alt tag, for example, to be accessible as possible? And does this fit the learning style that has been defined? Does this fit the target audience, something like this? So if I go to validate lecture, so this one I haven't tried this out. So there's a checklist defined. So the file ending is not correct. So on the checklist is, does it have a title? Is the target audience defined? Is the time enough for something? Is the brief overview sufficient? Didactics, does it fit into the lecture, what we have defined within the didactics agenda? Or the learning goals, does it fulfill the learning goals? Or the sessions fulfilled? So you can be as precise as possible, and you define like, so these tasks, and then you get a feedback like back. So, and you can take this feedback again. So this is the idea, and update based on the feedback, for example, also the current lecture, if you want to. So you can have like an agent or a task that does your quality checks. So based on your ideas, experience. So it's still remaining sections, complete the numbering. So it's still working on materials.
But you're saying these files are separate. You just like for the purpose of this presentation, we're putting them into one file, right? The
You mean
checklist.
so no, this is the idea that you have like within the BMAT method. So this is one file that you can also upload into the uh, to ChatGPT or something like this, and then you act like in persona, stay in this context, and
Okay.
then it will scan this file, and then you also can do like these tasks, like create an outline, and support, create didactics, stuff like this. So there should be like an assemble a bundle. I don't know if it works. I haven't tried this so far with ChatGPT, to generate a zip file with all the generated files, like it's defined in here.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But this is just the original B method. BMAT method has like the folder structure, and then everything is assembled, all the tasks and all the templates and all the data into one giant file where the AI is instructed with the agents, is instructed to only search for the, as I showed at the beginning, only to search for these patterns and to use only for the specific tasks the content that is between start and end point of the files that are required, so that it basically should work also within ChatGPT. But as I tried to show this to Sebastian, um, and I used ChatGPT in here. ChatGPT is not that good as a because my AI agent was like overwhelming. Oh, this fits very good into your lecture, into the tactics, and gave me hints and was funny. And ChatGPT was more or less like did a minimal amount of work,
Okay.
even the five. So it was not that friendly and not so. So we Sebastian like tried to apply this now with. He created an course in for Arduino programming for a
Hmm.
school, and or we wrote this basically. So we simply changed a rule. So like create co-author materials. Like co-author materials, you don't need a persona. The persona described, you get this from the chat inputs, how you look like, and you are just supportive on this task on the current file. So you can also shrink this down.
Okay.
So, and he found this very impressive. And you have this agent who triggers you. Oh, this is a very good idea. Oh, that's great. If we can also add this stuff like this, so it becomes more fun and engaging actually to create this content. Okay, let's keep the changes. So it's still messed up a bit with the. So this one works correct. This one is correct. This one not. Maybe check the phone message data bear. So in this case, we have to put a like a section around. So, but this is basically Alt L, the material that has been generated so far. We have like the slide mode with hello, welcome, I'm Dr. Frills. So this is in Firefox. So then we can copy and paste this into my Chrome. Yeah, slides mode.
Hello there, and welcome to your database adventure. I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be your guide on this journey. Think of this session as sitting down for a friendly chat with someone who genuinely wants to help you understand something amazing. You know what? I bet you've already used databases today without even realizing it. Did you check your phone for messages? Look up the weather? Search for something online? Congratulations, you've been interacting with databases. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see what's really happening behind the scenes. Let's start with something personal. Think about your morning routine for a moment. I'll bet it involved more database interactions than you might imagine. Maybe you checked your phone for messages. That's a database storing and retrieving your conversations. Perhaps you looked up the weather forecast, another database tracking conditions around the world. Did you search for a recipe or check social media? More databases, all working quietly in the background to give you exactly what you need.
So I find this already quite, yeah, astonishing. So me without using much knowledge or skills, basically, to generate like
Fantastic.
a first course. So you can like you have now this within the core author mode. You have your persona, you have to define and discuss the stuff with about the target audience and stuff like this. So, and what would be the problems, and get more examples, or even let the thing explain stuff to you so that you can create better courses. But I think
Yeah.
for me, since generating a new database lecture on the fly, so this method will be pretty helpful because I just like had an idea. So there's of course the module description, what we have to show, what the students have to learn basically, and then how I want to structure it, how I want to increase the complexity, and it helps me with the structure a lot of how to reduce the complexity, how to get like stuff that we reuse in every like in every lecture and stuff like this. So it was
Exactly.
pretty helpful, and I think it might be helpful for you too when you're creating this.
Honestly, that we were just creating a new set for AI and TVET, and this workflow would have helped to structure the whole outline. Like, I think what we did uh, the whole stuff you did, but manually. Let's call it manually, right?
This is the idea.
So
So I think we are like I found this for me. So we are talking about sharing prompts. That's not the case. We want to have like entire workflows, with
exactly,
the
yeah,
files that are basically generated, stuff like this. So, and this is the thing you can share. So you can send this to you, Hannes. So you can just scan this so and improve this for your work case. So if I see something does not fit, I look at the task,
exactly.
I'll rewrite this, stuff like this, so that it be more precise. But
No, I
I
find
think
this. I think, and the other beautiful part is like, I mean, we're still relying on the Copilot here, and the other it's like what I would like to try is if this is an option, if you have a powerful enough computer, if you can do this offline. Like if you have a model in the background. So I'm already thinking like I definitely we need to start to implement this stuff to see with the workflow and to see just like the specifics. But I would like to like add even that into my teacher training to say this is where it could go to if you have the right competencies as teachers in material creation, right?
mm,
So that yeah, no, I'm I mean, that was a lot. I still have to find my way around
because I,
the Visual Studio part.
I was like trying this BMAT method. This is on GitHub, an open source project, and it only shows you how to use this, and you have to understand their workflow and try to
Right.
understand the stuff and try to rewrite. It didn't fit. So, and for me, what then worked, I started like working backwards. Or so from the starting point and also working backwards, like how to only with the data, with the files that I want to generate, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I start with a simple module description, the target audience, and the hours that are required, basically. And at the beginning, there was also the didactics included in there. And okay, let's split this up. That might work better. So if we separate this for different tasks, how it is required, and then like these, you start to generate these files like in small steps, and basically, and then you at the top you create this you define these tasks and these commands. So this task shall use this command shall use this task, and with this structure of the documents that I want to have. So you
Yeah.
start. So this was for me. You start with the documents that separate your workflow, and then work backwards also from the okay, what are the tasks? So what is the order of the task that generate these
Yeah.
documents and stuff like this? And so you can do this quite simple by your own. Basically, you only have to have an idea on structure, and to keep in mind that the AI is better into not with a large context, but with small details. So
And
a small
exactly.
task, a small document that it's used as a background information, and then and Claude is so much better than ChatGPT for some reason. I don't know why,
No,
but
but
yeah.
we had that problem, especially with Leah script always, right? Claude was getting it, but ChatGPT was always very much not wanting to collaborate. I would love to, like, I'm gonna pause here, and I think I have to watch this implementation video the next 2 or 3 times to actually follow you in the next steps, but we will get there. I already have some people on internship who need some work, and they are gonna definitely be thrown into that. So give us about 2 months, and I will get back to you on the implementation for our workflow and what we learned, and then we could maybe have an exchange to see. I think like if my plan works out, we're gonna try with some local models on the computers and see if that is an option as well. To not using Claude AI, but just like doing a DeepSeek model which is run on the computer without the internet.
Or Quen or something like this. This is also
Okay, yeah,
impressive.
or Quinn, yeah. So let's. I'll stop here. Thanks for that. Just like before, I get even more information which I can't comprehend, or just like use as input.
Yeah,
And
but it's basically the ideas also with like from the software development team. If you have an entire team, you give them like small documents, small tasks. So, and
right,
this way you have to think about how to structure your actual workflow. So there's one guy responsible for probably for you create one that helps you with creating the images, that writes these prompts or something like this. So what description does he requires, for example, to generate this prompts, for example? Does it have to be playful? Or, I don't know. But
right.
just think of an entire team and which information does every member require to accomplish the entire product or project at the
So you
end.
define your team, which is then purely digital.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
the
yeah.
BMAT method. You have it, for example, like a validator. You can give it like uh, yeah, an entire different persona if you want to have and define an own agent that uses these small documents that have been created and checks everything, very pedantic. And I don't know, you can be creative as much because somehow the AI tries to make you happy about the results, and Claude is very good about this. So in this.
So, but I mean that is in some sort of redundant question, but just like how were you able to? I mean, SQL, it probably knows about SQL just like out there, but how are you able to feed it a very specific data? You said already you would put that as in output, right? Or just like into the persona
You have this
for the core author.
like the file structure that you have to generate. I put everything into this
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
okay. So you would put it there and then just like
document
say
file.
reference this for, okay, yeah,
Yeah, for this task and use this as the background information
that
and
in the
not
data.
rely on this stuff like this. So you can add like more things that you want to include. It should only use these didactic methods, only these five or something like this. So it should ask you about all these, I don't know, brainstorming methods. Try to
Yeah,
use
yeah,
these ones for elaborate on the ideas. Yeah. So it's just like it's a separation of like concerns and it works. Probably you can reuse it or define something by your own or something like this. It's just an idea. I think if you're clear with the idea of the workflow and the steps and the data or
yeah.
the steps in between is generated, you can come up with something else probably that also fits for your workflow in this case.
I can see already that this being a task for a seminar. Very brutal task, to be honest. But or a master thesis. All right, I'm getting ideas. Um, I'm getting ideas. Is there anything we definitely need to know? Like, could you provide us? Okay, this is you provided us already with the main document, right? And the rest is just were reference files which actually do not exist. The JML files.
Yeah, they are
Do,
all probably the skeletons all. So it's like, yeah, 1,000 lines of codes, and they're like uh, session
yeah,
material,
they.
how it generates. So everything is in there. So inputs, docs, lecture, agenda, style,
But
didactics.
do
So
I are they there? They are existing. You just put them in here. Oh no,
No,
it's session
just
material general. Yeah, okay, okay.
just put them into this yeah, Copilot instructions MD. So that's it. So, but the AI basically knows, okay, this is a YAML file, and this is how it's that defines the structure, and it already knows from the inputs that it should take from a docs lecture agenda, a lecture agenda, so
Yeah,
the
yeah,
file
yeah.
is generated, so that these are reused, or these are stuff to use
Right.
basically. And then there's this, like, you can see it from lecture didactics dot style. So it's
Yeah.
basically has defined something like a style in here. So it's just like with the dot, it's referencing also like sub chapters or something.
Within the document. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo. All right, people.
You have to try it out. So what works best? You can tuck
Yes,
tuck the next step, and now, okay, the step works for me. Let's go on to the next one.
Sorry. We leave it here, and what will happen